Happy Halloween! Ooh. It is Sunday, October the 31st, 2021, and welcome to a special Halloween edition of LCJ Live. Hope you're having a great day. Get out there, do some trick-or-treating if you had parties last night. Hope you've been having a good weekend, a Halloween weekend, watching scary movies, having fun, maybe going to the movies. What did you see this weekend? Let me know in the comments here on LCJ Live as I take my mask off. Hello everyone, welcome to LCJ Live and happy Halloween. Hope you're doing well. I got my pumpkin pal here with me. I've also got Scooby-Dooby-Doo in the night armor. You know, this weekend we had a bunch of new movies open. Some did better than others. I've seen some other films, some that are better than others. We will get into all of that here on this edition of LCJ Live. Let's start with the box office. Your number one movie is Dune with $15.5 million in the second weekend. It's up to $70 million total, which is okay. It had a bit of a drop. Not surprised that it had a bit of a drop this weekend, going from 40 million down to 15. In second place, Halloween Kills. No surprise there, 8.5 million people who wanted to see it over Halloween weekend. Halloween Kills is at $86 million. No Time to Die in third with another 7.8 million. It's at $133 million total. The newest movie that to top the box office out of the new films this weekend, My Hero Academia, World Heroes Mission, with $6.4 million. The fandom for that came out in full force this weekend. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, 5.8 million. It's at 190. Sony will try to make a run at $200 million for the new Venom movie. We'll have to see what happens there. Then some new films. Now, I saw last night in Soho on Friday. I basically had a private showing for last night in Soho. That was a bit of an indication to me, maybe this isn't going to do so well this weekend. Just $4.2 million for Last Night in Soho. A film that I like. It's very good when it comes to the acting. Thomasin McKenzie is great. Anya Taylor-Joy, the late Diana Rigg. Terrence Stamp is in it as well. The story, I don't think is perfect. I like that Edgar Wright took some chances with it. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. The style of it is very good for Last Night in Soho. I recommend it for Thomasin McKenzie's performance above everything else. 4.2 million for Last Night in Soho is not a lot. Also with 4.2 million on this Halloween weekend, Antlers, the new horror film from Searchlight. Basically, they're tied. We'll see tomorrow when the actual results are released where Focus Features puts Last Night in Soho and where Searchlight and Disney put Antlers. Just 4.2 million for that. I think the audience was split. I mean, clearly. Those two movies combined, $8.4 million. One of those two movies making $8.4 million would have been all right. And there were even some predictions that Last Night in Soho would make about $8.4 million this weekend. But clearly the audience, the horror movie audience, and those who want to see something that's a little bit creepy, scary on Halloween weekend, split right down the middle. Half went to Last Night in Soho, half went to Antlers. That's how it ended up. Eighth place goes to Ron's Gone Wrong with 3.8 million. It's at 12.6 million total. The Addams Family 2. A lot of families still wanted to go see Addams Family 2 on its fifth weekend of release, but for Halloween weekend, $3.3 million. It's closing in on 53 million. And rounding out your top 10 in an expansion that didn't do so great, The French Dispatch, the Wes Anderson film, with 2.8 million added, it's at 4.6 million total. Again, families split right down the middle. Some wanted to see the new film, Ron's Gone Wrong. Some for Halloween weekend wanted to go see Addams Family 2. When you look at the top 10, people are going to say the headlines are, these movies didn't make a lot of money, which is true. But the top 10 total, with a combined about $62 million, is not a disaster, especially for a weekend that pre-COVID notoriously was bad. It was usually a bad weekend. That end of October, you're going to bury something before the big kickoff to the holiday season in early November. Studios like to bury stuff. This weekend is notoriously poor for box office results. 62 million is okay. Again, the audiences were split. No Time to Die didn't have a big drop this weekend. it still did okay. Some people wanted to go see Halloween. Some people wanted to go see Venom. Some people wanted to go see No Time to Die. It was all very split. And the people who didn't see Dune or wanted to see it a second time went to see Dune. Very split this weekend. And I think it's pretty good that the 10th place movie made $2.8 million. That's kind of high. That's kind of normal for the 10th place movie to make $2.8 million. Big 6262, thanks for being here on this Halloween edition of LCJ Live. So when I look at the results this weekend, I go, A, I'm not totally surprised. B, some of them made less amount of money than expected, but what can you do? And C, audiences went to a lot of different films, and it was just split. DJ Richopo, do you have a favorite Halloween costume? I was talking with my co-host of the Too Fast, Two Films podcast this morning, Mike Sargent, and we're going to have a new episode up in the next day or so for Last Night in Soho and Passing, which is going to be on Netflix soon. I was talking to him about some of my favorite costumes that I used to wear. Oh, wow. I went on TV one year as Puss in Boots. I went on TV one year as Megamind. I went on TV one year as Wreck-It Ralph. And did some other fun costumes over the years for various things. I enjoyed doing those TV costumes. They were fun. The studios sent some stuff. I added some things. It was good. Good times with some of those. A bunch of other movies came out this weekend or were re-released this weekend, but the results are not in yet. That includes A Mouthful of Air from Sony, Amanda Seyfried drama. That's good because of her performance. The rest of it, so-so. Sony has not released those numbers yet. Also, the re-release of the original Ghostbusters this weekend. How did that do? We still don't know that yet. We don't know how Violet did in a few theaters. That's the Olivia Munn film that I think she should be in the Best Actress conversation, just like Thomas and Mackenzie for Last Night in Soho. So we'll see if Relativity releases the Violet results. Also, A Quiet Place Part 2 got re-released this weekend by Paramount. So we'll see if that was able to make a little money. So we're still waiting on some results. Shang-Chi dropped out of the top 10. The Last Duel dropped out of the top 10. Last Duel took another nosedive. It's only at $10 million after 2.5 weeks. Not very good for The Last Duel, and only made about $600,000 this weekend. As you might have seen on some of my comments, I'm going to show this off first. This is fun for Halloween. This is Wallace and Gromit Bucket from Curse the Were-Rabbit. From Burger King from 2005, the Oscar-winning film. Did you watch the Scooby-Doo special the other night? It re-airs Thanksgiving night on the CW. You can make this Scooby and all the other characters. I like this very much. There's Shaggy. There's Scooby again. As you might have seen on my social media accounts, I went to a film last night, and I didn't 100% know what the film was going to be beforehand. That's one of the cool things about the Film Columbia Festival near where I live in upstate New York. They, every year for the past 21 Film Columbia festivals, they do what's called the Saturday Night Sneak, where they say, we're showing this movie on this certain Saturday night at 8 o'clock, buy the tickets. We're not going to tell you what the movie is until the curtain opens. It's so cool. It's a great concept. And every year since 2013, I've made predictions on what I thought the Saturday Night Sneak was going to be. But the people over there, who are fantastic, they picked up on the fact that I was getting them pretty quickly and easily because they would list the run times with the movies, and I'd do a little research, and that helped with predicting what they'd be. So the last few years, and there was no festival last year, but the past few times, they've gotten a little more creative in trying to see if they could fool me and figure things out. So they did get me slightly this year. I made a list of the top 4 films I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Belfast. That was my number 1 pick. Then my number 2 was Spencer. I thought it could have been King Richard as well. Maybe The Tragedy of Macbeth. So I had those in 3 and 4. But it ended up being Spencer. I thought it was going to be Belfast, but it ended up being Spencer. So I saw the Kristen Stewart, Princess Diana film Spencer that opens this Thursday. I saw it last night. I wish I saw Belfast instead, because I guess Belfast is supposed to be very good, and this was not. I mean, I'm going to get more further details about Spencer over this week, including on 99.5 The River. Glad I got to see it early so I can review it this week on 99.5 The River. Ooh, the word I would use to describe my feelings watching Spencer last night, during the movie and after the movie, the word I would use is gobsmacked. This movie did absolutely nothing for me. Kristen Stewart as Princess Diana, she has her moments. The role doesn't give her a ton to do, and she doesn't stretch herself. As I wrote a blog piece recently about Kristen Stewart's other performances, Still Alice, Seaberg, even Underwater, she made those characters have depth and layers and purpose and meaning. There is no purpose and meaning behind anything that goes on in this Spencer film. Anything. I'm not a fan of the concept. I'm not a fan of the execution. The dialogue is meaningless and pointless. Kristen Stewart is not the worst thing about Spencer, but she does not deserve to be in the Best Actress conversation, because I've seen many other stronger Best Actress performances this year, whether it's Olivia Munn in Violet, or Thomasin McKenzie in Last Night in Soho, or Toni Collette in Dream Horse. They give those characters substance. There is no substance to this portrayal of Princess Diana, who is miserable through the 3 days that we watch in this film. It's a miserable weekend. It's a miserable experience watching this film. The music choices I don't like. Some of the visual choices I don't like. Some of the casting I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of much of this film. I was looking around at the theater in the middle of this going, please let something happen. It's so slow in places. It's just, let something happen. There were several people who walked out, and that happens a lot at film festivals, and I've noticed that over the years. There were a few people who walked out of the Joaquin Phoenix film I saw last week. But there were about five people who walked out of Spencer last night. You know, I continue to support the Film Columbia Festival. Obviously, it's fantastic. They've had some great movies over the years. I just didn't happen to like Spencer last night. This weekend, Spencer goes up against Eternals. Obviously, Eternals will win. It's the new Marvel movie. Disney, Marvel, blockbuster. It's probably going to do well. It is. At home, as competition, I've also seen Finch, which is the new Tom Hanks movie. It's him and a robot and a dog and another little robot. And I cannot give my opinions on it yet because I'm embargoed till at least Wednesday by Apple. But I have seen Finch. And it's another Apple movie for Tom Hanks. They had Greyhound summer of 2020. So now we have Finch. So you've got some big movies this week in different respects. A Marvel movie's always big. An awards contender in Spencer, though it doesn't deserve to be. You know what the best thing about Spencer is? Is the hair. The hair is perfect on Kristen Stewart, the Princess Diana hair. And there's a few costume choices that will remind people of what they saw her wear when she was alive back in the day. That's the best thing about Spencer's the hair. It's crazy, but it's true. And then Finch, obviously a big Tom Hanks movie, always big, older audiences going to Apple TV Plus for that. So that's what we've got this week. I know Red Notice is coming out in some theaters. That's the new Dwayne Johnson action film on Netflix, but they're putting it out in some theaters. The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne, which I've also seen, is going to be on Amazon Prime Video this Friday. The Harder They Fall goes to Netflix this week as well on Wednesday. Passing is in select theaters now. It goes to Netflix next Wednesday. So there's a lot of movies out, and there's going to be a lot that the studios are going to squeeze in between now and New Year's Eve when Cyrano, the Peter Dinklage film, comes out on New Year's Eve. So they're squeezing a lot in over the next 2 months as we get into the final 2 months of 2021. My Critics' Choice Awards nominations voting deadline is December 2nd or 3rd. So I got about a month to see the awards contending movies that the studios want the critics to see. Which ones do they want us to see? Which ones do they not want us to see? They got about a month, just over a month, to figure all that out. So I'll let you know what more awards contenders I see, and the Critics' Choice Awards nominations will be out on December 6th. The Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, which I hope to be attending in 2 weeks from today in Brooklyn. They'll give out the awards for the documentaries. What a great year for documentaries. I keep watching one film after the other, and most of the documentaries this year have been so good. The one on Charlie Chaplin the other night that's going to be on Showtime in December is great. Velvet Underground, Tina, Roadrunner Anthony Bourdain, Summer of Soul. I'm missing a few. Whirlybird. I know I'm missing a few. The list goes on because they've been that good this year. Some very strong documentaries. And I've got a few more to screen, so that'll be good. Any movies you saw this weekend? Let me know here in the comments. How are you celebrating Halloween? What's your favorite Halloween costume, movie-themed costume all the time? I just saw Janelle Monáe as the Grinch. Wow. Quite a job they did there capturing the makeup of the Grinch, just like they did with Jim Carrey 20 years ago that won the Oscar for the makeup. Did you see Last Night in Soho? If you want my full review of Last Night in Soho, go to lights-camera-jackson.com. Also culture.com. cultjer.com. And if you want a conversation I had with the guy who directed the Scooby-Doo special that was on the CW on Friday, go to lcj.podbean.com. It's a very good, in-depth conversation about Scooby-Doo, about the character, about the franchise, about the special, and more. So check that out as well. More LCJ Q&A podcast episodes are on the way for November. Some cool announcements when it comes to that are on the way. And when we're back here next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern, already a week through the month of November, don't forget that next Saturday into Sunday is daylight savings time. So fall back. Your clock's back an hour. Get the extra hour Saturday into Sunday next weekend. So set your clocks appropriately. And Shane Mendez, thanks for being here on this Halloween edition of LCJ Live. Hope you have a good day. Hope you give kids who walk around the neighborhood lots of candy. I'm sure, hopefully this will be a better Halloween for a lot of people this year than it was last year. The kids can at least get out, still wear the masks if they need to, but get out and do trick-or-treating around the neighborhoods. And the parties and the trunk-or-treat events that have been going on, I've been seeing lots of posts about that. Hopefully it's a better Halloween for everyone today. And we'll see you next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern for LCJ Live. Thank you for watching. By the way, you can squeeze this pumpkin. I like that. He's cool. Hope you have a great day. Hope you watch a fun movie. If you want a list of 10 family films you can watch this weekend for the holiday, go to 995theriver.com. When I did the special segment the other day with Randy, I did my floating head with some cool visual effects, and I gave a list of 10 family films you can watch this Halloween weekend. Thank you for watching LCJ Live. Have a great, safe day, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye, everybody.